So hey guys, before I get started with today's video, I wanted to introduce everybody to my project manager, Boomer. Boomer is an integral part of my project, and he is very active, and although he's supposed to be a silent partner, he is, as you can tell, way too energetic for me sometimes. And Boomer, Boomer, boom! He's thinking about something. Okay. I'm trying to get the lighting right, so I'm sorry if it's too glary, but Alexa, turn on dining room.
Okay.
Sometimes she works and sometimes she doesn't. So, where was I? Oh, today I'm redoing the light bar. I had originally planned to do fluorescents and then augment them with grow lights, but because of the way that I did it, the overall weight of all the ballasts and everything was too heavy for the frame that I was going to use. It actually bends it too much. So there's a thing I wanted to share with you guys. In case you haven't watched my videos before, this is my rotary garden unit that I'm working on, self-designing and using stuff that I have left over to try to make it, a sustainable idea and all that. So my two problems that I'm having right now, I have a new phone, by the way, and I apologize if the videos are not as good as my Samsung Note was, but I was robbed and I had to get this Cricket phone, and Sprint is no longer my provider because they have just gotten insane. But anyway, so this is the rotary garden, and so it is supposed to rotate once every 24 times every 25-hour period. So that's one rotation an hour. The problem that I'm having right now is two things. One is the figuring out a way to get a motor to turn it that way, which I've been to electrical engineers, I've been to motor companies, like electrical motor companies, not just automotive electrical motors, but like industrial, that kind of thing, and asking them to help me get a motor that I could get to do that and be able to adjust it just a little bit, because sometimes weight and everything slows it down and I need to be able to speed it up just a little bit, or whatever. They look at me like I'm asking to build a nuclear weapon, which, as you guys know, I actually worked on nuclear weapons on submarines, so I really know how to do that. I just don't know how to work with motors. So if anybody's out there that can work with motors and can help me figure out, I've done most of the calculations, but the calculations don't really work when you try to go to the people who are trying to purchase it for you, and they just say, oh, well, buy this $9,000 motor. And I'm like, okay, no. If they can make a rotisserie motor to turn 4 pigs, then they can definitely come up with a way to turn this wheel. So I know that I'm going to have to build a metal frame for it because the torque will be too much for the foam PVC. And the second problem that I'm having right now is the water to main pump system, because I want to do a drop feed or gravity feed where I put like I found several of those old Igloo stainless steel coolers, and what I want to do is put like a toilet bowl float in it that will keep the amount of nutrient solution up here, and so when it rotates and hits the arm to go into the sprayers, you'll be using gravity instead of trying to have 2 pumps to coordinate it. I'm trying to make it as low tech as possible. One, so other people can reproduce it, and two, I'm not that smart. So, that being said, that's what I'm going to do. So if anybody out there knows anything about motors, electric motors, I'd appreciate it. Also, there's a guy that I watch all of his videos, and it's SSLfamilydad. I'm embarrassed. I'm sorry. My memory is really bad because of the chronic fatigue syndrome. But if you definitely look at my subscribed, you'll see him. He is a computer tech by trade, but he is extremely knowledgeable about converting stuff in your home to everyday stuff. Like, for example, I was concerned I wouldn't be able to afford a power supply for my LED system, but he taught me that every power supply for computers have this red or green and black wire, and if you connect them, that's the switch. Well, every one of these black and yellow wires are for 12 volts, and so you can connect these to the different LEDs that you need, and that each channel can handle up to 60 watts, I think is what he said. And, you know, I do some of my own computer repair, and I honestly didn't think of that, because I don't power supplies are kind of not something that we dealt with a lot in the military, because all our power supplies were just one kind, and it fixed it, you know, we just replaced it, we didn't work on it as much. So anyway, back to this. So SSL, he has a neat video on creating your own grow light using these grow LED strips. I'm not recommending any one provider, so there's two good people. I don't, this was the link he gave me, and, you know, so I haven't used it yet, but so far, you know, everything he's done. So purchase at your own risk. So anyway, this is, as you can see, 12 volt, 60 watts, red, blue, 4:1 ratio, and it's from China. It's waterproof. Now, his video actually tells you how to connect everything using just wire, but I had some free credits, and so I bought these connectors, or actually the credits bought the connectors. The length of this, I think, is 16 feet. I love this. They don't actually tell you on there, but I think it's 16 feet. So it was very inexpensive. It was either different, more feet than that, and it was $16 or something like that. But anyway, if you look at his videos, so I stripped this back down, and I got rid of the CFLs, because it just wasn't working either. I guess my distancing or something made the lights not work as well. So what I did was I had some of this stuff left over, which I think it's PVC or it's melamine. You can get a sheet of it at Home Depot for like a 4x8 sheet for, I don't know, like $16. But I actually had this that I found underneath my house, and I just cleaned it, and so it's already got reflective material on it. Not that it'll really need it, but just in case. I had it, so why change it? How do you like my new gas tank? I did that. I know, you may not like it, but anyway, it's a Monet kind of thing. Anyway, ADHD. Anyway, so I took it and using a stapler, and I have to tell you, I don't have a lot of strength, and a friend of mine actually gave me this Stanley, and it's called a Feather Touch, but it is actually really cool. The only thing that I will say about this is that it loves engaging this lock when you're squeezing it. I don't know if it's my technique or what, but I've tried doing it all the way back here, which really hurts my hand, but it still kind of pops up from the recoil. So I may actually just take a piece of tape and tape it down, but it's really annoying. So that, or I'll just take it off, because I don't really, it's a safety, like, I don't know, so in case a kid can't figure that out, they're doing freaking rocket science and calculus now. So anyway, these are pretty waterproof because they're cut and connect. You don't have to solder them if you don't want to, but let me, you guys know I'm not great with camera work, so hold on one second.